Back working on our vertical platformer spawning game. Last Tuesday, we, in our main level here, one day it'll load, thank you. So yeah, on our main level here, we added these vertical spawn boxes. Generally adapted the spawn box tech to also apply to animals, these enemies. We got rats spawning out of this. We got chickens spawning out of this. And then on Saturday, I added some new enemy behaviors here in our movement test level. So we got the base gray rats down here. Come on, that's something I want to fix today. But those rats now, when they hit an edge or like they're doing a little ray cast in front of them, and if they do that and find like a wall, they turn the other way. And then we added a different type of guy, the yellow rats. Oh, whoops, I'm on the code. We added a different type of guy, the yellow rats here, who are doing the same raycast, but are jumping instead. So yeah, what I want to do today is just more enemy behaviors and improvements. So something that probably you know, stands out as very annoying is we got when they're hitting the edge here, they're making a sound every time. Very annoying. Probably not sustainable if we want to eventually be at a point where it's spawning like a large chaotic amount of enemies. And also another thing to notice is it's spawning pink particles there. That's because the assumption for the game jam was our player character here. Like the only way these things could die on screen where you would actually care about seeing it is if they hit the player. So like this is actually supposed to be an indication that the player took damage. So they might need like maybe like a more understated effect. I don't know, a different effect, probably take on their own color. Um, but that both goes into a concept of like killed versus deleted, or like hit the player versus hit like a wall. Oh no, I fell down. I'm dead. Um, but so yeah, the idea there is you could have a um like two different ways of being destroyed, and they would potentially know the difference of being destroyed by hitting the level edges versus hitting the player, and then they can, for starters, and most importantly, not play their death sound when they hit the level edge, and then they can also spawn slightly different particles that sort of better communicates that they're just hitting the edge or whatever versus like being a signal for player damage. So yeah, we want to branch on that death behavior. Um, and then the other thing we might do is just add more enemy behaviors. We can use the same raycast tech, I think, to have like an edge follower. That would go sort of like down here, up and down and around, and just sort of circle a platform. There could also be like a version of that where they could climb, where they can sort of edge follow, but only go up. So here, instead of jumping or instead of turning around, they could do a little climb up and keep their path. And then there's a lot of like pretty simple and straightforward behaviors I could add to the chicken, the flying guy. You could have movement as zigzag, have them move in a sine wave, have them do little bursts of movement rather than a continuous stream of movement. So yeah, it's just today is fixing some enemy issues and adding new enemies by like permuting out different variations of their movement behaviors. Yeah, also a spawn delay of some kind, because it feels super unfair in the real game when stuff just spawns under you and you just immediately lose some life, you immediately get knocked back, no sort of warning, no sort of delay, and that's even with like the the spawn boxes being debug drawn here. So like I know a rat could come out of here, but still, when one does, it's just like an instant thing that I couldn't possibly react to. That's because they need a spawn delay, and it's like probably a little animation to go with that spawn delay. So you have a chance to move. So yeah, let's think I want to start with like the overarching enemy stuff, like branching for different types of death behaviors and um that sort of thing, and then just sort of in whenever time is left after like, you know, for a reasonable dev session is left after that, we can just go through implementing different types of enemy behaviors and fleshing out the different options of things that can spawn. Okay, so yeah, let's get started with that branching death thing. Cause here I can show it off. Oh, I'm not playing the game, but I can show it off really quick. If I unmute the audio, it unmute. It sounds like pretty bad quickly of this. It's so annoying where like stuff is just constantly falling off the edge, dying, and triggering its death sound, which is really just supposed to be feedback for the player having taken damage. So I only want that sound to play in the instance where the enemy dies from going into the player. So let's open that stuff up and see how it's currently working. Let's get an idea of that. It's in the resources, prefab. So here, let's go to our rat. I'm pretty sure this is using like common tool functionality. Like anything with a Q in front of it is like common general tools. So spawn on, oh, I guess it's not a common yet. But spawn on destroy, I believe. Oh, I guess a spawn on destroy is basically a little callback component for this QI destroyer interface, which is just sort of like a wrapper around destroying things where things can subscribe to it, and then there can be a delay. So I can say like, hey, I'm beginning a destruction in half a second. Anybody who cares about doing destruction things, do them now. So that's how that previous script, this spawn on destroy, is working. And the thing it's actually spawning is, I'm going to unpin all these things because they're from a previous time. But the thing it's actually spawning is just that particle effect. And I think that particle effect also has the sound. Let's see. Let's see if we can find our particle effect. It's probably just under normal prefabs. Yeah, death burst here. Yeah, so this is the auto source retro impact colorful 8. I assume. Can I play this? How do you? Yeah, okay, that's the sound. So we basically need to fork out this spawn prefab and have a way to differentiate between different types of destruction. And then we can spawn one of two prefabs. And one will be like sort of the enemy specific thing from dying that doesn't have an audio source on it, and the other one will be the player damage version. Not sure what the best way to go about that is. Like, sure, I make a new prefab and I spawn one of two different prefabs, but I guess the thing that's not clear to me is what the cleanest way is to send the signal of like you died in this way versus you died in that way. Because if I remember correctly, this is using, let's see how the deaths happen. There is spawn on destroy, or no, that's not it. That's, how's it dying? Yeah, so destroy on clamp, and then AABB is axis line bounding box. So that's one way it's destroyed. It goes 15 in both directions. So that means if it gets to 15.26, it'll trigger this movement clamp, and then which will trigger this destroy on clamp script. So I think destroy on clamp is one of these QI destroyer interfaces. So I think we just need like some way, we just want to like have a user data or a flag here that we then could check. I think this is the best way to do this. And it wouldn't be, I can map it to an enum to make it nicer to read, but at least for the context of the QI destroyer class, it should not be a game-specific enum because like this is it's supposed to be a general class that can apply to any game. So I'll say serialize field, private, int, and flags. Right, yeah. And default 0. And then in spawn on destroy here, why is Unity hanging on? Like literally the file system. Oh, I guess it recompiled from something I changed. Sure. Let's just find it in here. All right, spawn and destroy. This just says on destruction imminent spawn. So I need on destruction imminent, I think. Destruction imminent action delay. And then maybe another. Yeah, this needs a second parameter, which is flags. It's a while since I set up a event class like this, but yeah, I think I just need to plumb through flags a few places here. Delay and flags, delay, flags. Okay. What else? Is that it? I think there might be some callers I need to update. Yeah, so now this doesn't match anymore because the delegate this is expecting takes a delay and a flag. So I think it'll match now. Yeah. And then here we can like say required flag, right? Or expected flag. I'll do required. And then we can say if the flag that like triggered our event does not, or the flag that triggered our event needs to match the flag we have saved in our class. And if it does, then we do the thing. Otherwise, we do nothing. So let's see if that compiles. If Unity's happy with all that. Seems to be. There are warnings that I should probably hunt down. I think some of them are debug and some of them are not removing game jam tech. But I don't think any of them are concerning here. Okay. So first check is the sort of simple check. Hey, did we break anything? Flag should default to 0, so everything should still work exactly as before. We haven't changed anything yet. So yeah, I got hit, played the sound to the death burst, and it's still playing the sound. Despite me not getting hit. So yeah, behavior didn't change. Everything working as before. Great. But now let's add that second death burst prefab. Prefabs, death burst. I'll duplicate it. Death burst 1. We're gonna rename it out of bounds death. Keep fat fingering B there. Out of bounds death burst. Okay. So now we go to our rat. And wait a second. Oh wait, yes, this is what I need. All right. So in its destruction stuff, here now we can pass flags. So if it's a clamp death, which means just from going out of bounds, I'll pass the flag 1. And then this death burst keeps the flag 0, because that's, I'm gonna say the player death is like the normal death. But then I add a new, oops, not you. I add a new spawn on destroy. And this one is looking for 1 instead of 0. And it's spawning the variant of our prefab that doesn't play a sound. Which it still will because I didn't remove the sound. So let's do that really quick. Remove. Okay. So now when rats go out of bound, they should spawn a different prefab that does not play the sound. Let's see. I don't see any rats. But I also don't hear any global sounds. No, it seems like that's still happening. Alright, let's figure out why. On our rats, what have we gotten wrong here? On destroy, out of bounds death burst, require flag 1. Death burst, require flag 0. And then destroy on clamp has flags 1. So I think this rat has a child that handles, yeah. Or no, this is not. This is. So I need to, I guess it's not clear to me how it's being destroyed when it hits the player. It must be on the player because I'm not seeing anything on the rat. So let's find our player. Do you have like destroy other or something? Jump, jump, movement, helper, facing stuff, health. Wow, this player has so many things. Iron death. No, I'm not seeing anything on the player either. Let's just break in here and see where it's coming from. I mean, I guess it's always going to come from a delayed destruction. So it might be annoying to track down the original sort of messenger that triggered the delay event. Good. Unity. Wow, it takes so long to load. I guess it's attaching the debugger. Okay, that I expect. Should be 0 equals 0, 0. Yeah, 0, 0. So, oh, it's coming from the chickens. I think. You know, it'd be a good way to test that. Just make this a different color. All right. I wonder if that's being set programmatically somewhere though, because why? Oh, probably. See, I need the scene view. I don't think so. Oh wait, no, yeah, that's doing the other color. You know what let's do? Let's simplify this. Let's under camera where we have these chicken boxes, let's just delete or disable them for now. So we know I don't want to inject any uncertainty here that could potentially waste time. Okay, on the rats, they are no longer playing the sound. Yeah, it was the chickens. And we want to double check that they are still playing the sound when we hit. They are not. So why is that? Well, I guess it's because we never were able to track down how exactly are they being destroyed. Right, I was supposed to break in. Yeah, I got distracted by the chickens. It's good to see. This is why I disabled the chickens. But yeah, let's break and begin destruction so we can hunt down where exactly the event is getting sent from, so we can reconcile the flags or whatever. It's annoying because all the guys that are hitting the ABB. Get rid of this one. Okay. I don't think this isn't set up right. Let me take a look at this guy. I must have destroy on clamp. Is there a different way? Wait, it must be. Do you have health? I truly don't understand how our boys are dying here. I guess what I can do is attach, get ready to debug, and then I disable destroy on clamp. So now the only way to get destroyed, they'll be falling forever through the world. But that's fine. The only way to get destroyed and like break into the code will be to take damage. So we can track down what is exactly how it is set up to kill these guys. Interesting. It doesn't hit begin destruction? What is destroying these guys? Are they even getting destroyed, I guess is a good question. Because I know there's a delay. Take a look at this rat. Oh, I need to look in the scene view. Okay. He's going. He does get destroyed. But by what? Oh, this is the destroy on clamp. I'm dumb. Not break here, just break in the general. Begin destruction, I think. Yeah, I was breaking in the wrong place. Okay. Oh, that's the plank row goes through this. That's annoying. Some more stuff that is just crowding up these results so I can't actually break into the code I want to. I don't think I can simply disable it either because there's probably dependencies. So I think what I should do is see if I can disable the spawn box at a prefab level, and then the trees just won't spawn. Is it not a prefab? That's so annoying. Platform, platform, platform. Yeah. I guess I only made animals a prefab. Ugh. How annoying. Yeah, animal spawn boxes both are prefab, so I could get them all. But plant spawn boxes are not. That's so annoying. I was just copy pasting it, I guess. I can't believe that. I even have a prefab for the dumb line grower that I intend to like wholesale replace, but not the plant thing. All right. I think I should just do this, and I can do this in my test level. That's a way to get around this. Movement test. Yeah, this is like all. I'll turn off. There's like a reasonable amount of plant spawn boxes for me to turn off. So now it'll only be animals, and we deleted the other animal thing. So in theory, this should only break in this destruction callback on whatever is killing them through the player. Oh, now there's jumping routes in here. Turning things off one by one. To just zero in on this one thing I want to debug. The audio. Okay. Get rid of your destroy ABB thing. Okay. Now, finally, we can break in the debugger where we want to. I think. We'll find it out. Maybe there'll be another thing. Okay, we should see nothing, nothing, and then if I drop down, we'll break. Yes, finally. Okay. Damage other on trigger enter. Destroy self. Aha. So I guess there's this script that is set to like be the general thing of enemies. And that is what is killing them. It just has like this flag here for like I guess kamikaze type enemies. Like a lot of enemies are like that, where if you hit them, they die, but they damage you. Okay, we finally found it. Found it, everybody. So that is actually on the child thing I mentioned, I believe. I didn't notice it because set direction. There it is. Destroy self. So it gets its parents' destroyer, which unfortunately is the AABB. That's the problem. So I think we need to get a second destroyer. And it needs to go before the AABB. So it'll get picked up first. Collapsing all these so I can move stuff around more easily. Okay, destroy and clamp. Separate destruction interface comes up first. Still want a delay of some kind. And then this can have the flags of 0. Alright. So the bug we set out to fix a while ago was it didn't branch. It only put us in it only spawned the new particles. It was not spawning the old particles on damage like we expected it to. Let's see if that's fixed. This is just the normal rats. Oh, I muted the audio? Excellent, excellent. All right, so yeah, we got our sound back, we got our pink particles back. So let's now re-enable this other thing, this destroy and clamp. So we would expect as they run to their deaths here, we want to see no sound, but they are being destroyed. Let's see, are they being destroyed? Wow, they fall down forever. I guess it's like negative 10 zillion, but they have to actually like creep over to negative 15. Let me get this guy at the very bottom. No, this guy should have been destroyed. I don't think these guys are getting destroyed. Right? I've been holding this rat the whole time. Oh, this is the jumping rat. That's why I didn't re-enable it. Two different types of rat. Re-enable. I guess this also needs a destroyer that comes before. I went down to the bottom. Okay. So, right, the bug we were checking there is our jumping rats were not getting destroyed. Make sure they are. Yeah, I can't grab them really. And then just to double check, in both cases, yeah, it still plays the sound and does the specific player stuff on collision. Cool. So is there anything else I need to check there? Is there anything else I need to fix? Yeah, I guess this needs a copy. I think I was seeing death out of bounds. Yeah, I don't think I was seeing this because I didn't set it. So now we want to see in our rat's death. Should definitely not, right? Whoa, I didn't set the I didn't set the destroyer flag clamp. Where's yeah, here come rats hopping through. Still not right. Destroy on clamp, destroyer, flags, flags. The ABB wrong? No, they're getting destroyed. I guess I didn't want to. I moved it up to be the first component, so this like general component would grab the general destroyer. But I think spawn on destroy, yeah, it can't just subscribe to one destroyer. It has to subscribe to all the destroyers. Or maybe it should. Maybe this was the easier way to do it. Just have multiple. If I need multiple destroyers anyway, um, you know, I could have just said subscribe to destroyer N. I think this is fine as well. Because I can, I can foresee a situation in which I might want to listen to multiple destroyers. It's just in this case I don't want to. Oh, you know what I can do though? I can do the same idea, I think. I can say if and required flag is -1, because we can use that to mean like no flags. Or my required flag is equal to destroyer dot required flag or and flag. This kind of is doing the same thing. I think this is private is what it's complaining about. Oh, and flags. That's fine. Technically, flags implies like a bit field, but it's fine. If I want multiple simultaneous flags for this, that's it's cross that bridge when we come to it type of moment. Where was I? This. Okay, so now instead of needing to check when the event callback happens, we will just only subscribe to destroyers that match our expected flag. I think this should work. Let's find out. Game's been running this whole time. It's not going to be happy that it has to recompile. Okay, yeah, we're getting a slightly different death burst down there. They're still hitting the death burst when they hit it on this side. Why is the camera off center? Yeah, it's not important. All right, let's try that in the main game. Oh, did I disable a bunch of stuff? I don't think I did in the main game, right? I found it was going to be too annoying. I was doing on wrap prefabs and stuff. Not muted audio. Let's get full scale. Okay. These guys are dying. I'm not seeing their death burst because they have to get too much X. So, I guess I see it some. If they have enough horizontal momentum, I can see it. Why am I slow? Did I mess something up? Have some more bugs in the spawn, the plant thing. I'm fine now. Let me walk around in here, see if anything's weird. Might only be when I have damage or something. Oh, you know what I think it is? Okay, well, let's pause for a second and say the different the different types of death looks good. It's flexible enough that I could have 99 different ways to die and respond to them all individually. And although it's not perfectly set up for it, like it's only a short step away if we wanted to like have a bit field of flags. We just need to check that bit with the relevant bit is set here instead of checking the flag in its entirety. So that's an option for further customization if it's called for. But yeah, I think we can call the death branching good. But in the process of testing that, I noticed a bug, I believe, in the slow plant stuff. So let's see if I can trigger it. I hit this bug in many different ways. Like there are basically what these flower bushes do is just slow you while you're in them. And it accomplishes that by just like getting your original speed and then slowing it down and then setting your speed back. But I was seeing, particularly when I was here, I got trapped in some slow speed. And I think plan itself is fine, but yeah, see, oh, did I get slow? Yeah, it's the damage that is messing me up. See, Wait, I need to get damaged in the flowers. Yeah, now I'm super slow, super slow. Oh wait, is that just how? Maybe I'm not. I think I'm still slow. Maybe I'm not. Maybe there is no bug. Yeah, I guess the only thing is if you jump out of it. I think this is actually fine. I don't think this is a bug. It's maybe something to look at. It feels a little weird in that if you get knocked up from damage, and you do a little hop after, like your double jump hop, that hop like feels still slowed even though you're not physically intersecting with the flowers anymore. I think that probably has something to do with, I think maybe when the player gets hit, they become briefly invulnerable, which in practice like turns off their collider or something. Let's see if that's the case. Let's see if I can find it. I'll jump. No, I mean, I guess it's fine. Yeah, I mean, how would I even fix it? I guess it's in the rat, I think. Or in enemies generally, not the rat specifically. In this knockback trigger that does the damage. No, it has only fire 1. Yeah, I'm not seeing any built-in collider. Let's just look through the. This is slow and trigger enter. This isn't what I care about. Damage, other collision. Yeah, I don't see any cooldown being applied. I wonder why that is the case, but I don't think I'm gonna chase it down now. It's not as significant as I thought it was. I thought basically what was happening is this knockback on trigger enter type thing is like, or I guess the movement burst thing it's doing has had the same problem that the plant slow originally had, where sometimes it like changes your movement and then puts it back, but maybe the previous movement speed. So this previous set move speed, and I guess set move speed returns your current speed. Yeah, Prev. Okay. So it does have this problem. I don't think anything takes a dependency on that. Like the only, I'm just thinking it could be, like the idea is if you're slowed, like if multiple, the reason it's getting your current movement speed is to sort of protect the idea of there being multiple things affecting your speed at once, and then it's only undoing its own contribution rather than like resetting you to default move speed. But I think that as we've seen from the many bugs around the slow plant stuff, I don't think I actually want that behavior. So break it and previous move speed. I'll find it. I guess I won't. It's under request burst, I think. Do burst and previous. Current document. Don't take me out of here. Yes. I'm gonna change this to. I'm gonna leave it commented out to just flag it to myself to review for later. As something because I don't. Nothing in this game for sure takes a dependency on this, but there might be other games that are using movement burst that I want to double check I'm not like messing up how they work, or and if I am messing it up, I should like reconcile it somehow. That's something that should be baked into the component. Because I'm saying, by setting this up here, I'm basically saying I don't care about this. I don't need multiple movement effects to be applied in this way. But if I find a dependency on this, then that assumption is wrong. That statement is wrong. I do need the ability to, composite multiple movement effects together. And then I'll need to figure out how to do that. But since I'm working on this game now, I'm not planning on rebuilding anything in the past. I think I can just change it and see if we see that behavior go away. Yeah, now it works. Maybe? Why do I have infinite jumps there? Thing weird. No. I think this is fine. Let me go back down and jump around a little bit more. Now if I... Am I at my full speed now? I don't think so. Maybe I am. I think I was being misled by the wind. Yeah, I think we're fine. Cool. Alright, so that was one of the things I talked about as like a general enemy thing. I'm trying to think what the other things were. I guess a spawn animation, and also the death animation is a little wonky right now. If you're doing like there is none basically. And you can, if I set it up, it'll be obvious how wonky it is. Yeah, see, they don't even disappear. They just keep running for 4/10 of a second and then disappear after the delay is done. So yeah, let's do the two sides of animations, the spawn animation and the death animation. I think spawn animation is more important, but I think death animation will be easier, so I gotta do that first. So I just need is there an animation? No, not really. Fade maybe? Nope, but we can make a new one. Using this same sort of destroyer interface. Okay. So let's add a new, this is not a good place to put the script. I need to put it in the game, but yeah. New script. And that is play and it's actually, it's so specific. I'm questioning whether or not I split the two parts of this behavior, which is I want it to stop moving and I want it to play an animation. I think I'm just being lazy by wanting to combine them. I can just give it both components. So I'm going to put play animation on destruction. Okay, this is a QI destroyer, right? Or no, it's similar to the spawn on destroy, where it is like a destroyer listener. Since I'm copy and pasting here, it might be interesting to base class this at some time. I don't think I need to right now. So play animation on destruction. On start, find your destroyers. Look for, gosh. I feel like I'm already would be just easier to make a base class here. Create. Yeah, I'm making a base class. Destroy callback base. Okay, get out like this spawn on destroy. Required flag would go to the base and should be protected. It can be private. Callback. And then we have a abstract. Abstract. Interface to overload, which would be callback. Come on. What's wrong? Is that a reserved thing? Oh, it needs a return type. It doesn't think I'm writing a function. Float delay int flag. So, what's the problem? Virtual or abstract? Sure. For abstract protected, avoid callback. Then we head on over to our spawn and destroy. Make it derived from destroy callback base. And we don't need this start anymore. And instead of spawn, this is override void override, I guess, private. Or does that have to be protected? Callback? Could? Cannot change access modifiers? Sure, that's fine. I thought that might be a thing. And this check is no longer necessary. It happens at subscribe time. Okay. Yeah, look how nice and simple that could be. Just do the thing. You know, override the callback and do the thing. Well, does it work though? I'm touting such design. But watch it not even work. Let's doesn't even compile. Oh, this is just the other thing. Yeah, you can just do nothing for now. Play animation on destruction. We'll add this in later. We want to do the same sort of bit by bit process here where make a change, make sure the existing still works, then expand to the new thing. So yeah, we want to still see our particle effects spawning here on destruction to make sure that like base derived class relationship and junk is all working like we still expect it to. It's also possible that maybe, okay, looks good. How about the other way? I'd have to see in the scene view probably. Yeah, there's this other thing. Cool. So we didn't break the existing functionality. Now we can add the new functionality. So we override from the existing class. Destroy callback base. What's the problem? Oh, because I didn't, yeah, saying, hey, a destroy callback base needs a callback and you didn't define one. So we're gonna grab this from here. Instead of instantiate, we also will need awake to get something. We're gonna need an animator to play the animation. And then we get our animator as soon as we're awake. And then on our callback, we'll say I'm animator. Come on. Play, animate, play. And then we'll have a property we can set. Cool. So, you know, it benefit from the same base code there of like subscribing to destructors based on like what flags are set. Cool stuff. But do its own specific thing in a tiny amount of code. So let's set this up, and then we can do it again for the, wasn't there one other destroyer? Or no, the spawner is the other thing I want, so it's a slightly different thing. But yeah, let's set this up to work. These are recompile. Tell me about these one. Maybe it'll go slightly faster if it doesn't have to output all these warnings. Maybe that's a good reason to clean them up. So we need to make sure the rats have an animator, or if they don't, give them one and set up an animation for them to play. Looks like they already have an animation. Great stuff. Or an animator. Come on, I'm just trying to grab this window and expand it. But they only, okay, so they go straight into their walk animation. So we make a new state, call it death. Or I think this will automatically get created if I create the animation. And we just got to grab the rat, create new clip, rat die. Or even, I'm just going to make it general fade death. Or shrink and fade. Sprite renderer will transform, scale, and sprite renderer, color, and we don't need all the colors, we only need alpha, which is transparency. So we want to shrink in nothing. 1 minute is way too long. It should even be like, I mean, ultimately there's going to be a scaling factor, but like, I guess 5 seconds is a decent place to start. But we go from, the scale goes from 1 to 0. And same deal for alpha. Just shrinking and fading. Hence the name. So shrink and fade here. Let's say, I don't know, like again, it's controlled by the speed. I'm going to set it to the same speed. And then I think we also need to make it not loop. I think things loop by default. Yep, do not loop. Okay. So now shrink and fade should be on the rat animator to the point where we can play it on death. So let's go to the rat, add our new component, play animation on destruction, required flag, -1, any form of destruction will do, doesn't need a specific form. And then the animation name is shrink and fade. Does that work? Oh, the other behavior I wanted was stop moving on destruction. That's what it was. That was bothering me. Felt like I'd forgotten something. Because I had. Beautiful. They don't just like keep running, they fade into nothing. Great stuff. I mean, I expected that to not work the first time I did it. So it's a rare thing when things are about as easy as you expect them to be, or easier. Usually the programmer mantra is like, ah, that was harder than I expected it to be. So cool. Let's add our other script, our other destruction script. Again, this is kind of the power of base derived classes, where we can get this similar functionality very, very easily. And the lazy thing to do would have just been write one script, do all the things I wanted to do on death. But now in the future, if I want this to play an animation, and then this needs to stop moving, but maybe this should keep moving. Maybe like chickens fall out of the sky or something, and that needs a slightly different thing. By componentizing it, by splitting it up, you can mix and match and like potentially create different stuff through permutations. Anyway, So that was play animation on destruction. This is going to be stop movement on destruction. This will require a private QI movement. Another, oh, not INL, that's input listener. It's like just Q move I movement. Okay, yeah, so a generic movement interface can be any type of movement. We don't care. We're just going to tell it to stop. Anything that has this base class of I movement that like treats itself as a movement thing will be able to interface with this. And not start, because that's getting called by our derived, but awake. Or getting called by our base, rather. Ah, I did the Windows key code that switches you over a virtual desktop. Okay, so we get our movement. We actually have to inherit from our base class, destroy callback base, and then let's just go over here, grab our, I don't want to have to rewrite this function signature every time. Oh no, I didn't copy. That's what I get. That's what I get for copy pasting. Like it would have been easier just to type it. All right, callback delay flag, not animator, but and movement. What do we want here? Speed. Set move speed to 0. That'll do it. I think. We'll find out. Because I don't know if you noticed, because it is shrinking into nothing pretty quickly. Maybe we can we should reconcile that, right? Calculator. So the death delay for it to be like truly destroyed is 0.4 seconds. The animation has a base speed of 5 seconds. So what is that? How much faster is so it's just 0.445? 08. So that'd be even faster, right? Doesn't seem right. But I guess, yeah, if it's 5 times 0.08, gives me 0.4. Okay. Instead of 0.2, it's 0.08. What else does this need to do? Nothing. I just have to put it on the rat, I think. We'll find out in a second. But yeah, I was saying earlier, it kind of like was sliding a little because it wasn't stopping moving. It wasn't that noticeable because they're disappearing into nothing. But ow. I think I might have it backwards. I think the speed might just be the duration and not like, I don't know. What happens if I make the speed 0.4? It's just, it seems like it's not playing the whole animation. So I want this slowed down to however long it takes to sync up with the actual destruction. Ah, too far. Okay, I'm gonna watch this guy hit us. Yeah. I guess a lower number is slower. So if 1 is it set on this? 0.4 in this motion on the rat Unity. I clicked off the animator. I don't know why. Shrink and fade. I guess I don't understand the relationship between these. What if I set it to 1? Will it take 5 seconds? That makes it exceptionally fast. I don't know. I mean, I can look this up at a future time. I should figure how to reconcile this, but I don't know. I'm not going to do that now. I'm going to just guess and test until I find values that I like. Meh. It's fine if it's faster, if the animation is faster than the destruction. It just can't be the other way. Yeah, so now it's too slow. I think maybe, I mean, 1.2 or 0.2? 0.2 is what I started with, isn't it? This is why guess and check is not good. I think this is like pretty much what I want. I think they're getting pretty much down to where they need to get. Let me step through it. Okay. Yeah, see, it is fading into absolutely nothing. So I think this is a good value. Cool. All right. So we got our 2 like death responses done. Let me close this animator window. It's covering the code. So next will be the spawn animation. Let's see. I guess I want a simple little component. Let's actually, so I think the knockback trigger is the only thing that does damage. Yeah. I think the intention here, I have this enemy knockback trigger layer. I bet if I go and look at my physics layers, not build settings, something else. It's project settings. Yeah, so it is set up so that the player collides with these knockback triggers, but not enemies themselves. That's so like enemies themselves can only collide with like the world. You know, just I think setting up like very specific, very limited collision triggers like this seems like it is just a good thing because you don't have to worry as much about filtering your collisions. Like oh, is this the thing I actually care about responding to? And also, it must have performance benefits in some way in that, like, you're telling Unity at a like near global level, you don't need to care about collision responses between these types of things. It seems like setting that up must be some kind of performance boost. Anyway, so on this, I think what we want to do is have this box collider on the knockback trigger specifically, uh, deals the damage to be delayed. So I think the best way to do that is just like a little simple component that we could say new script, or hold on, I'm in the animation directory. It's going to spawn the script somewhere. I don't want it to spawn. Create new script. And this will be enable collider after delay. I'm a big fan of these like having a huge composition of like micro components like these. Enable collider after delay. Where are you? Oh, you're. That's good enough. And then the property you want to set here is the delay. I don't know, half a second by default. And then on start, we'll just schedule that function. Enable. And maybe we can even say on awake we'll disable it. You know, I could just disable it on the thing, but like, if I have this component on there, this is obviously the behavior I want. So why even like give myself that avenue for error and you know, have to go through and set everything. And in that case, let's also I thought we were only going to access the collider once, so there's no point in caching it. But if we are accessing it twice, then we might as well cache it. Copy and pasting addiction. And not type collider 2D. Like the amount of time I could have typed collider 2D and the amount of time to put my hand on the mouse. So we get the collider, we disable it. Is this deprecated? No. And then on this in this callback, we enable it, and then on start we just invoke that callback. Call either. After and delay. Okay. So this component, when it wakes up, grabs its collider, turns it off, then start, which is like right before its first frame, it schedules this enable collider function to happen after a set delay, and in this enable collider function, we just turn the collider back on that we originally turned off. So we want an animation to go with this for sure, but just to test it, we can put this on a rat and then go stand on the spawn box and be sure we don't take damage. The rat should be able to come out despite us standing on top of its spawn location. Prefabs, rat. And add this new component, which is enable collider after delay. Oh, the problem, I'm gonna have to say, I'm gonna have to add a property for, because what I really want is, oh, actually no, I just won't put it on the rat. I have to put it on the knockback child that actually does the damage. I don't want to mess up the rat's collider. If I do, he'll fall through the world. Because that's only the collider for walking around. On this knockback trigger thing, that's what's doing the damage and what needs a delay. And half a second is probably fine. I don't know. Okay. So we go seek out a rat. Cool, we got a relatively close spawn location. Yep, he ran right through me because there is an initial delay. To double check that, let's make sure we get hit down here. Looks like we do. Cool. So now the animation. It's really the opposite. I wonder, can I just play something in reverse? I wonder. I'm not gonna do it here, but I'm just play reverse. I don't think so. I'll just make a second animation. So we grab our rat and open up the animation window. And there's rat walk, shrink, and fade. We add a new. It's basically the opposite of shrink and fade. Under assets, graphics, animation, and it's grow and appear. Yeah, just literally doing the opposite. So transform to get the scale, and sprite renderer to get the color, to get the alpha. Get rid of all the colors I don't care about. Move this over to 5 seconds. And then at 5 seconds, set this. Oh, wait. Yeah, 1 is right, and then 0, though. Should be set to 0. 0, 0, 0. I wonder if they're going to have a single frame where they appear before they shrink. I hope not, because then I'll need to go through and set the initial state of the prefab and stuff. But we'll see. Let's go into the rat's animator to set up that animation state. Grow and appear. This should have a transition into the normal running animation, rat walk. Transition. What's wrong? Okay, speed, we'll use the same speed we've been using. Grow and appear, yep. And then on grow and appear, we need to make it not loop. Okay. So, oh, you know what? We don't actually have to do anything, right? We just have to, the entry needs to start here instead. Right? So now it's saying, instead of going right into walk, it'll go into grow and appear first as like the initial state. And then transition into rat walk. And then there's nowhere to go from rat walk, so then it just plays that animation until a script tells it to jump over here. Looks good to me. I don't know. We'll see. So what do we expect to see now? We expect to see our rats pop, like grow out of the ground and fade in from 0 alpha. I don't think so. I think it's either happening too fast or it's not happening. Oh, I see it. It is happening, but it's happening too fast. So we established slowing it down would be like that, and we might need a longer. You know, I want it to also not move. I think that's part of the problem, is like the animation gets lost and then it's already, starting to move, and like you feel like you need to care about it and you don't yet. So let's just make another tiny little what is it? Similar to this enable collider after delay. I'm gonna add assets, scripts, animal, enable movement after delay. Is this worth a base class? It would have to be templatized, which makes sense and could be good, but I am not familiar with how to set that up in C#. I think the syntax might be slightly different than what I'm used to in C++, so I'll leave that for another time. Delay, instead of a collider, I guess it all inherits from mono behavior. So maybe I can do that. Oh, let's try. Let's at least give it a try. If I run into a wall and I would be like looking at C# docs, then I'll stop. But I'll try enable after delay base. Yeah. EnableAfterDelayBase is an abstract class that has a mono behavior or else say M component. And then get component to enable, maybe. So this is what they can override. And then on awake, well, we can just copy this from the other thing because we're taking the stuff out of that. Grab all this. Enable after delay base, blah, blah, blah. Component, blah, blah, blah. Source flat. This, yeah, this goes up top. So general delay, everything has a delay. And then we have our private thing and our interface to override, right? Abstract, protected. And then instead of collider, we just say I'm component. On awake, instead of doing this, we just call get component to enable. Wait, can I template? This? No, it's fine. I can do it this way. This is, in theory, I could just say get component T, and then I could say enable after delay base and just put the like type. I think that should be doable. Okay, I said I wasn't, but I'm gonna, if I can find it very quickly, I will. Yeah, if I say this is enable after delay base T, cool with that? And then this is a T. And then I don't need this. I guess, say mono behavior. No, that's just a name. But if I do my component as mono behavior, and then I can do M component is get component T. Cool. Seems happy with it. And then cast it again here. Maybe I can just cast this once. Ooh, there's a U in behavior. Well, I'm gonna keep it, even though I don't agree with it. I guess whoever wrote it was British. And I don't have to cast it every time. I only have to cast it once. Cool. And then if I go enable movement after, well, I didn't do that yet. Enable collider after delay though. Should just be enable after delay base of a collider 2D. And then requires literally no code. Could that be? So what do we expect to see? We should be able to not get hit by the rats still as soon as they spawn. Just double check that behavior still works. And some of these, why is this jump? Oh, Kimona is, this did not work. Spawn box space. Oh, enables. So did this cast fail, I guess? What if I try it the other way? But I would imagine if this is null, this is going to be null. Well, let's find out. Let's just double check. This should be false. You good with this, compile? No, it does not like doing that. So that does not, oh, I need to do where t where oh no, this is stack. Yeah, can I say enable after delay t base mono behavior? Oh. Final t is a base t. How do I cast generic type? I have to do like convert, change type. I don't know what these stack over people are talking about. I just think I'm not casting it properly. Yeah, I want to cast a generic type to a base class in C#. I'm getting feedback that this is not something it's going to let me do. It says this requires covariance or contravariance where cannot be in C#. But I guess, what if I don't even make it a T? I just make it a mono behavior. Because I only need to access enabled on it, right? So what if, so if I do get component base T, get component T, what if I do this directly into a mono behavior? Is it going to let me do that? No, I can only do this, where this, I'm pretty sure this is what I was doing before. What if I say cast directly? It's the last thing I'll try before I give up and just write like, yeah. Is that a lot? It's gonna let me do this, but I don't think, yeah, it's even telling me the second cast is unnecessary because it's only doing the thing I was doing before. All this, like fumbling around to avoid writing one line of code in a derived implementation that I understand how to do. All right, I'll give it one last chance here. And then I'll do the simpler implementation that requires me to write one line of code instead of 0. Okay. Maybe someday we'll do a deep dive into C# generics, but that is not today. What we're going to do instead is this. So instead of doing this, we just call our derived abstract function. Oops, deleted that. And then this function's responsibility is just setting this component as mono behavior property. So we do get rid of this component as, or I forget the name of that. It's like override void get component to enable. No. And components mon get component collider 2D. Eh? As mono behavior. But this collider 2D actually comes from mono behavior. Cannot. Really? It should just be fine, right? I don't even understand why I need to cast it. It's a mono behavior. Oh, is this something else? Interesting. I wonder if that's why it didn't work. What if I do that? I can't not try it. I have to go back and see if this fixes it. I can't help myself. It wouldn't let me cast the mono behavior because it's not a mono behavior, it's a behavior. What is the difference? I don't know, something in Unity. What? Can't do as behavior? Oh, it needs a... Okay. Let's get rid of this abstract. I just want to... I love the dream of writing 0 lines of code and just setting a template type. Oops, I didn't actually want to attach. I have to chase that dream of using generics properly. Having now spent, what, like 15, 20 minutes to avoid writing one line of code that is already written here. It's a principle, though. It's a principles thing. I have to try this one last attempt. Oh my god, it works. But it is saying the invoke couldn't be called, but that makes sense because it's calling enable collider, which is now called enable component. Let's head back to Unity. That was fully working. It just was spamming the console. Oh, I guess it wasn't fully working. It wouldn't have hit the player if I actually ran into them. That's what the console message was telling me. We're gonna go see if this works. So we need to see the same sort of temporary invulnerability. It seems like we got it. That I can't tell if it's yeah, okay, I think we're making it through. Sometimes it's on the edge. It's this them already the aspect of them already moving when they're spawned is very misleading. But luckily we now have our dream base class we struggled with so much that we can use to fix that. So enable collider after delay is this codeless class that just has to say, hey, I'm EnableAfterDelayBase of collider 2D. Let's see if we can do that same thing with our movement controller. We have to go to our scripts. Oh wait, no, I already have that. Enable movement after delay. It should just be an enable after delay base of QI movement, or not INL, Q move I movement interface. It seems to compile. So we would hope to see our rats not moving until like a half second after they spawn. But the rats are so far up, I don't think that works. And I think I know why. Yeah, so I am not sure. This has a late update that's just setting state data. I think this is not being fully disabled because it's not relying on updates somehow. Let's take a closer look at our rat and how it's moving. It is move translation, which also is not relying on Unity built-in update, so enabling it does nothing. However, I bet this MVC specific direction, this is just determine movement. Where does the movement happen? How do you move? It says move impl. Who is calling move impl? Current project. It's an abstract class here. It's called by move, but who's calling move? Move parenthesis. And movement move. Okay, here's the update in the movement burst. What about the general case? And movement interface. This is the input listener, so this is only for player movement. This is another player movement thing. Oh, you know what? I think it might be in the movement controller base. Let's go back to that. Aha. Yes. The movement controller is what has the update. Okay. So we just need to switch to that. Whatever I changed here, I didn't mean to. So our enable movement after delay, instead of doing it maybe was working, but enabling the movement interface doesn't actually do anything because it's the movement controller or the input listener that is actually having an update function to hook into and calling the movement interface. So we would hope to see it work now. That it is disabling. I don't think so. I don't think it's... Did I give them enable movement after delay? No, I didn't. That explains it. I don't think so. It seems like they're moving straight out the gate. So we can check, well, let's step through to find a guy that has just spawned. Give me the scene, not the animation, not this rat, the scene. Okay. Should be able to find a rat around here. And you're at? No. Because it'll start pretty much invisible. I might not be able to select it if it's invisible. Okay, but I can see its debug draw. Enable movement after delay. Okay. Move translation is still, oh. Oh, see that little star? The change is unsaved, that's all it is. Although, did I see, I don't remember seeing enable collider on there. Let me double check I find that. Enable movement after delay. Yes, we also forgot to add that, which means my tests were fake. Oh, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. I remember now. It's on the damage box, on the child. Yep. But now that our guy actually has movement on delay, and we save the change to the script so it's affecting the movement controller rather than the movement, I don't think that's right. Seems broken as well. I actually kind of wonder where these guys are coming from. It's all the way up there? Something's weird. I think I broke it. Okay, there's our guy. Yeah, I guess it wakes up slightly faster than I would expect, but yeah, you know why this is just misleading? They were spawning under the line, I think. And trees and stuff. Oh yeah, let's since it's difficult to get the exact spawn location on this wide one, let's work our way up to that narrow one and double check the spawn behavior and everything. Oh, damage boost, I did it right for once. Uh-oh, this guy's got stuck. I guess that's fine. Maybe I should think about something for that. That guy hit me pretty quick. But yeah, it's not instant. I think we just need a slightly bigger delay. Um, 7.5. And same deal for your knockback trigger, maybe even slightly longer. 0.8. Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, I think that's an appropriate. You get a nice warning. SC spawn right on me. And I'm only getting hit because I'm not really moving. I think long term, they probably still want some warning particles. And I'm even gonna up this a little bit, 0.9, because the damage should always be like more forgiving than everything else, right? Maybe I should have I definitely am not gonna keep these like sprite boxes, but there probably should be some indicator that like, hey, stuff can come out of here for each of the different types of things. Oh, messed up that jump. So yeah, lots of good stuff here. We're not getting spammed by destruction sounds anymore. Our guys actually have a nice little death animation where they shrink out into nothing. They have a spawn animation. We have a forgiving spawn collision thing where they can't hit you right away. Good stuff. What else do I want to do? Oh, I want to, probably nearing the end, I want to go for like probably 2 hours or so. But as a part of like doing this, I turned off some stuff. And like chickens, for example, the chickens are no longer in the main level. And I want to make sure that the jumping rats, which are basically like a clone of the rats, have all the stuff they should have, like all the stuff we added to the rats here. So we're just going to clean up and re-enable our existing, or our rat boys here. So we have, let's collapse everything. So it's easier to see more all of them at once. So this has its 2 spawn and destroys and its 2 destroyers. We did that much. But it's missing play animation and destruction. Okay. It's also missing stop movement on destruction. And this third thing, enable movement after delay. Another thing that needs to be fixed here is the rat's animator. Well, it's not going to have the stuff it needs. Wait, is this the right one? Oh wait, yeah it is. Since they're using a common rat animator, those changes are already in place. Great. Let's head over to our test level and see that our jumping rats have behavior that matches our expectations. Oh, might be a problem. This is kind of like assuming they would jump onto the platform. They're gonna fall to their deaths. Yeah. Let's move that junk over a little bit. Where's our scene? There it is. Oop. Just needs to fall onto the platform. So that alone shows that's the stop movement, right? Okay. So the stop movement is good. They got looks like they're being pooped out of spawn boxes. It doesn't really the same animation isn't as clean for these vertical spawning rats out of the vertical spawn boxes. I think it'll look fine for chickens, but something about the fact that they are immediately affected by gravity makes it look like they're getting pooped out. We still got damage. Our yellow rats are playing an animation. I think the rats are good. All right. Let's re-enable the chickens and move over the tech that makes sense to move over. So let's head over to the normal level, re-enable these spawn boxes, then take a look at our chicken prefab. Spawn on destroy. I think what did I just add? It's enable collider after delay, sure. I think the delay for the chickens that spawn out already can be much smaller. Enable movement after delay. Oh wait, to the chicken, yeah, they have a similar knockback trigger thing. So we got to put that other, the enable collider, half of it on the knockback trigger to 0.2, 0.3. What else am I missing? They have their own animation, so if I want them to do that on destruction, play animation on destruction, and stop movement on destruction. Pride flag, -1, don't care. -1. Animation name, this is where I have to fix something because the chicken does not have the animations, but we should be able to point to the same movements, I believe, since we're not affecting anything unique. We're just affecting the sprite and transform, which the chickens also have. So we have grow and appear. Grow and appear. Yeah, it lets me do it. Make this default state, add a transition, make a new state for shrink and fade. Okay. It's faster. I don't know if I'm just not noticing it or they're not doing it. We'll see. Stepping through. Oh no, they are. It's maybe just a little fast. Let's check the. Oh. Now the chickens are dying again. So how do we fix that aspect of it? We need to set flags, destroyer flags that we set up to branch out that death behavior, so chickens are not playing that knockbacks or that annoying sound of the death animation every time they fly too far to the left or right, which they're going to do all the time. They're just flying across the screen. So if we remember correctly, we need a general destroyer that is accessed before destroy on clamp. Then the general destroyer will keep flag 0. Destroy on clamp will take on flag 1. Both of these need delay. I don't know why they don't have one. Destroyer, destroy on clamp, and then spawn on destroy. Gonna move this up so it's under the other one. And so death burst is on 0, but on 1 we're gonna put out of bounds death burst. Okay. All right, I think that's all good. All right, so we would hope that our chickens are no longer playing a sound when they die due to going out of bounds, but still play a sound if they die due to intersecting with the player. Let's find out. Man, make this bigger. Seems correct. You know what's not correct though? I think is the shrink and fade. Yeah, see, they're just standing there. So why is that? Let's take a look. Chicken, why aren't you shrinking and fading? Play animation, because I didn't set the name. Shrink and fade. Okay, let's try it again. Chicken and fade. Yeah, there we go. And also them stopping moving definitely makes the impact hit a little harder, I think. Looks like there's some... Yeah. There might be some sprite layering stuff to look at between the chicken and the chicken and the flowers. I thought I saw it like weaving. Ah, got me. But I think, oh, what happened here? Assertion failure? Oh, it's these global plant managers are being recreated when the game restarts. I wonder if that's something I can look at really quickly. Yeah, the animal manager, the platform spawner, all these global lists where it says, hey, I only want you to make this once. So I don't even think it needs to assert. We'll just replace the assert with a check because we only want to do this work once. And if we can save. So yeah, I'm gonna go through and replace all those asserts with a check because I didn't think it through that awake would be recalled on game reload, on scene reload. The unfortunate part about this is I lose that assert functioning as like a singleton check. I'm not sure what to do about that. I'm just gonna clean it up for now so I can restart the game. The other one was platform spawner. There's a list of platforms. Yeah, this also only happens once. Okay, let's double check I didn't break the game, and let's just go through some jumping around until we die, and make sure we don't hit our asserts on restart. Ooh, that's tough. I gotta get to the other edge, I think. It definitely, ooh, ouch, 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 ouch. This platform with like rats and tons of flowers is pretty rough. When I implement a concept of difficulty and like different types of platforms, that should probably go higher up. I think it even should start out with like very, very basic, like maybe even a handful of platforms that spawn nothing. Because trees help, but they help you jump sometimes, but they're also a complication. That can block your path sometimes. I need to make, I talked about in the past wanting to make thicker trees that are easier to use as little helper platforms. I haven't done that yet though. But these narrow trees would also potentially be a bit higher up. 18. Let's retry. Who will know asserts? Does anything in the game break? No, we still get our platforms, still get our chickens, still get our plants, and our rats. Alright, cool. I'm just gonna jump up as high as I can. Did I make it to last time? 18. Although I guess it's just tracking how long you live, which isn't the true, like, quote-unquote score would be how high you can ascend. Maybe I should set up to track that. I think I will do another round of enemy stuff, do the other enemy behavior variants I talked about at the top. It's turned out not to have time for them today due to spending 30 minutes on implementing a generic class to save myself one line of code. But yeah, I think maybe one more, do another session on enemy behaviors, and then I can start doing difficulty, like the actual gamification, which would be pretty cool because once I get an end-to-end game going on, I can throw it up on the various sites to say like, hey, this is work in progress. If you want to give me feedback, it's we're getting more and more elements in, which is great, but like how those elements are mashed together is still a certain extent placeholder. It's not intentional, I guess. Like I'm not spawning things with intention. I'm just choosing randomly out of large lists. So yeah, I think that's probably gonna be it for me for today. About 2 hours, I think is good. Yeah, I did like 2:30 or 3 hours in the past, but I think I'm gonna shoot for more reliably doing 2 streams a week, but having the streams be slightly shorter. Because then it feels like less of a monolithic task to sit down and decide to do some game dev. I'm like, oh, I'll do like an hour or two. It's much more reasonable and gets me more likely to do it more often. Yeah. So that's it for me for today. Shouting out all the social media things. I'm Quiet Bench Sound on all of them. Please subscribe on Twitch. Check it out on the VODs are on YouTube. You can subscribe there. And I'm on Twitter. You can follow me there. Everything is under Quiet Bench Zen. And I will it might be like a mini short stream, but I'll commit to doing another stream this Saturday around like mid-late afternoon Pacific time, in addition to the regular 2.5 hour or so stream I do regularly 6-ish Pacific on Tuesdays. So yeah, thanks for tuning in if you did. Check out my stuff, Itch, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, Quiet Bench Zen. Appreciate your attention basically. Have a good night.